Hi, my name is Ryon McDermott, and I am a new faculty member in the Department of Professional Studies. I'm mostly teaching classes in the Combined Clinical and Counseling PhD program here, but I do teach one course a semester in the master's program, and I might be teaching a few master's courses in the summer. My areas of teaching range from group therapy, which is one of my passions, to gender and counseling, which is another one of my research interests, and I'm teaching ethics currently in the doctoral program. Most recently, I came from the University of Michigan, where I was doing a postdoc fellowship in counseling and research at the University of Michigan Counseling Center. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Before that, though, I got my doctorate in counseling psychology at the APA-accredited program at the University of Houston in Houston, Texas, where I worked with Frederick Lopez, who was my advisor, and continued to work with Jonathan Schwartz, who left the program shortly before I got there, but was my advisor in the master's program there as well. So I have my master's in counseling as well as my PhD in counseling psychology. Originally, though, I was born in Kansas, and then I lived in Warrensburg, Missouri for a few years, and then I went back to Kansas to go to high school and then to the University of Kansas for my undergraduate in psychology. My research has a number of different domains, but it's all tied together by a common theme of adult attachment and socialization. I'm really interested in how psychological variables that develop early childhood and through our relationships, such as adult attachment, intersect with our social variables like gender role socialization, especially in men, and how that impacts our relationships and our intimate relationships and our friendships. There's also a big connection there with mental health issues, and I'm exploring that further currently. At the University of Michigan, I started looking at positive psychology in relation to gender role variables and attachment, so we're putting together something about that right now. But generally, my research has one or two of those two variables in it, and usually deals with traditional masculine roles or traditional feminine roles, or some kind of adult attachment aspects. The biggest piece of advice I would give to anyone entering a doctoral program in clinical or counseling psychology is to get connected with the American Psychological Association. Division 12, which is clinical psychology, and Division 17, which is counseling psychology, are great homes for new students to come in and really meet people and really develop those professional connections that are going to help you get an internship and later on get a job. For me, I found a great home in Division 51, the Psychology of Men and Masculinity. That has just been a fantastic division for me. The ratio of students to mentors is amazing. We actually won a prize one year from the American Graduate Student Association saying that we were the best division for graduate students. And so it really is. It's a fantastic experience. I've worked my way up in leadership there, and I'm now currently the program chair for the 2014 APA. But before that, I was the listserv moderator, and just before that, I was just kind of helping out wherever I could. And it's a great place to learn. My teaching philosophy is something I'm still working on. I think it's something I'm going to be continuing to develop as I do more graduate level courses. At the University of Houston, I taught mostly undergraduates, but I did do a little bit of work with the graduate students. And so far here, I'm loving the work with the graduate students. And I'm allowing my teaching philosophy to really blossom in that way. My teaching philosophy, though, as it is, has two real big components, and that's focusing on, there are many different kinds of learning out there, so I'm going to teach in ways that appeal to those different learning styles. And then also my personal philosophy in teaching is that teaching is about learning critical thinking. It's about deconstructing the unconscious and conscious factors that affect our lives. And definitely in a mental health counseling program and in clinical and counseling psychology, that's a really big task for me to undertake, but it's something I find deeply meaningful. Yeah, a lot of people ask me questions about my guitar playing. I've been playing guitar since I was about 10 years old, for many hours a day at one point. I was introduced to a band called Is It Man or Astro Man, which is a sci-fi surf rock band, instrumental style music, which is really silly to listen to, I guess, but I loved it so much back then in high school and middle school. But basically that's influenced my guitar playing tremendously. I started out with all the typical stuff, playing Neil Young and Bob Dylan and things like that, just simple open chord stuff. But Man or Astro Man, or that surf rock style, is very intricate. It's very technically challenging, and something I found very, very fulfilling as I go on. It's kind of my self-care playing guitar. So that's another advice I give to you in graduate school, is find something that you can have that energizes you and makes you feel good at the end of the day. So at South Alabama, the first thing I want to do here is start a research team. It's going to take me a little bit of time to get that all started, but I've actually got connections at the University of Michigan and the New Mexico State University in terms of working with researchers that are doing unique work there. One of the coolest things that I was able to solidify before I left Michigan was a national research sort of pool that I'm going to be doing. So we'll be collecting at Michigan, New Mexico State University, and here at South Alabama for large survey projects. And we're going to hopefully connect with the School of Public Health there in Michigan to develop some kind of grant and funding opportunities addressing health disparities in men and boys, which I see as having tremendous implications for gender role socialization, which tells men they have to kind of do these things on their own and not go to the doctor. I mean, I'm a guy, and even I don't go to the doctor as much as I should, and I study this stuff, so I'm aware of those messages for sure. But I think there's some real implications there that can be explored and addressed. The other thing I'm going to be doing here at South Alabama is just a whole lot of catching up, essentially. In graduate school and in my postdoc, I did a number of studies, about 18 different studies that we just haven't written up for publication yet, and something that I love writing. I guess I might like doing statistical stuff more than writing, and I was doing that more than the actual writing. So I'm getting back to that writing process, and students who are interested in these topics, which they range from domestic violence to health issues to mental health issues to you know, any of those things I said that have that common theme of attachment and gender role socialization, either one of those. If students are interested in those, please contact me, because I'm looking for people who want to be co-authors with me on these articles. I'm going to be doing a lot of them. So I think the University of South Alabama is an up-and-coming university. I think it is a fantastic place for a new professional like myself. I feel like I'm very well supported here in terms of being able to do my research and connect with students in a real meaningful way. One of the main things I think that South Alabama offers is that we're about to get APA accredited, and that's a huge milestone for a program to do. And to be able to do that and to be able to come in and as part of that is just a real attractive thing for me.